In a recent interview, Dr. Danielle Belardo, a vegan cardiologist, made the claim that you don't have to be vegan for optimum health. She says she's since received a lot of flack from vegans online because she's, quote, honest and transparent about the data. Dr. Belardo said that veganism is more of an ethical decision over a health choice or diet. Quote, more vegan physicians need to keep their messaging honest. I don't need to convince people to go vegan by cherry-picking data. Chasing the perfect diet is a fallacy. You don't have to follow a 100% plant-based diet for ideal health, explained Dr. Belardo. She also later clarified that patients should adopt a diet loaded with plant-based foods such as fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts and seeds, and that there are absolutely no health benefits to eating meat, she said. After the interview, Dr. Belardo made a statement saying, going vegan is not a diet. It's a lifestyle about reducing harm to animals in all ways practical and possible. I believe in not eating animal products. My decision to be vegan is my personal decision. But as a physician, I have to stick to the science. Eating a plant-based diet is a healthful dietary pattern I recommend, but the scientific evidence at this time has not demonstrated that a 100% plant-based diet is superior to a Mediterranean-style plant-predominant diet with some animal products. So now we're going to hear first from Pam Popper, a prominent vegan health educator and founder and president of Wellness Forum Health, and then from Dr. Michael Greger, as they both discuss this topic of whether you have to be 100% plant-based for ideal health.
I think that one thing we know is that the effect is dose dependent. And here's my concern about all of this. There really isn't an indigenous vegan population on the planet. We all cite statistics for places like Okinawa and Papua New Guinea, and where it's a plant-based diet, it's a starchy plant-based diet, and very tiny amount of calories from animal protein. And so I think we have to acknowledge that very small amounts of animal food in the diet appear to be tolerable by humans. And one of the ways I think that we can get more people to do this is not being so caught up with the V word. Now, having said that, the patients who you deal with, I've seen your program at Cleveland Clinic, and I don't think there's any level of restriction that you could give these people that would be inappropriate because of how sick they are. I recommend your diet to people who are in that condition. But I think we run the risk of taking people who are younger and not sick and making them think that this is a diet for people who are very sick because it is so restrictive. So that's why we don't take animal foods entirely off the table for a significant number of our people, but we're very clear that it has got to be a tiny little bit of animal food. I mean, a woman in Ethiopia fixing dinner tonight takes 8 ounces of goat and slices it up and feeds 9 people. And that's simply not dangerous as far as we know. But it has to be prescriptive. In other words, it's 2 or 3 times a week, it's organic, it's wild caught. Everybody wants to get carried away with the quality of the animal food. I think there's some issues with the quality of the animal food. I think we should pay attention to it. But I think that the quality of the animal food discussion leads people to think that if it's better animal food, then you can have a lot of it. And that's simply not true. And then the other discussion ends up being, well, if it's fish and chicken, is that better than beef and pork? Not if you're eating the same amount of it. It's only when whatever it is that you're eating, with the exception of dairy, in my opinion, that you ratchet it down to a teeny part of your diet, assuming you're in relatively good health, that you're going to get any therapeutic effect. We have to stop having a discussion about pasture-fed beef and all that. That leads people to thinking that there's some magical way they're somehow going to be able to hang on to all this animal food in their diet, and I think the evidence is quite clear that they can't. If what we're suggesting to people is that you should not ever do anything that causes any injury to any part of your body at any time. I wouldn't have gotten on the plane this morning. I wouldn't have driven to the airport. If somebody has coronary artery disease, all on board. No level of restriction that's too much. But I think we have to be careful about this message, because if we can't sell it to people, we're done. The science of change is as rich as the science of plant-based nutrition or nutrition in general. And the 2 reasons why people make a change, number 1, I think it will benefit me. Number 2, I can see myself doing it. I'm vegan, I love it, but having said that, I'm not sure that that is the message that's going to change the world.
Yes, any research comparing a whole food plant-based diet to an omnivore diet rich in plant foods? At what point and what quantity do meat and dairy become bad for our health? So any diet packed with whole plant foods is going to be a healthier diet. And, it doesn't matter what you eat on your holidays, birthdays, special occasions, the day-to-day stuff that really adds up. And the more we can stuff whole plant foods into our face, the better. In terms of what that cutoff is, I talk about data in my new evidence-based weight loss talk, how those going, eating plant-based, adding just a serving a week of meat or more to their diet, doubled or tripled their odds of diabetes and stroke, heart disease, weight gain, and associated with a 3.6-year drop in life expectancy. It's going from zero meat to once a week meat or more. And then in the introduction of How Not to Die, talk about this interesting study looking at Buddhist monks eating just a few servings of meat a week versus not, and seeing significant increase in diabetes rates. But presumably there's some level at which your body could bounce back from injury. We're not exactly sure what that level is, though.
So what do you think? Is this a positive move to encourage meat eaters to eat more plant-based? Or do you think it undermines the vegan movement? Leave a comment below sharing your thoughts, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below and subscribe for more upcoming videos.